I gotta be pretty far out by now. I'm exhausted, Dolph. I think I'm at the end of the world.
Oh. Do you like it?
I don't know yet. I gotta be honest, it's a bit unsettling, you know, all this void.
You follow?
Not really. Paul! Come and get it! Paul!
You've lost your dog, haven't you?
Yeah, I can find my dog. What do you care?
In 2010, French director Quentin Dupieux made a bit of a splash with an absurdist horror comedy film called Rubber. It's about a mass-murdering car tire with psychokinetic powers. And if you've not seen it or heard of it before, I'm going to say that again. It's about a mass-murdering car tire with psychokinetic powers, and it is as fascinatingly bizarre as you would hope a film like that would be. It reached cult status back in the earlier days of things going viral being a thing, non-biological things at least. So Dupieux follows up Rubber 2 years later with Wrong, which is indeed another venture into absurdist comedy, but very, very different in tone and theme. Also quite possibly the better of the two films. Definitely the more subtle. Not that Wrong in any way asks to be described as subtle. Let's say low-key instead.
It's Victor.
Victor, how are you?
I'm fine. Actually, if you turn around, I'm right here. Turn.
Hey. Yeah, I know. I saw you come in. Quick, what do you want?
On paper, the plot of Wrong is fairly mundane. Man loses dog, man searches for dog. However, while the phrase subverting your expectations is now a staple on the film analysis bingo card, this film does it so drastically within the first couple of minutes that it becomes impossible to form expectations for the remainder of the movie. You absolutely at no point will expect much of anything that happens going forward, but in a good way. And what the synopsis doesn't tell you is that this film is happening in an alternate reality. No, not that kind of alternate reality. The alternate reality you find in absurdist filmmaking. In fact, in retrospect, subverting your expectations could be the definition of most absurdist films.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, he's dead.
What?
The opening scene of Wrong establishes the presence of a vehicle fire on the highway, and a group of firefighters' head-scratchingly indifferent response to it. From there, Wrong evolves into a film that is impossible to describe, fascinating to experience, and inexplicably charming. At least that's how I perceive the film. I'm not going to recommend or not recommend it, assign it a star rating, give it 4 out of 5 popcorn boxes, a big old thumbs up or down. Let's just talk about what the film is and why it may or may not be worth seeking out, throwing on a watch list, or tossing into a queue on one of the 347 streaming services you currently subscribe to or receive for free.
Pay attention to what happens next. It all happens very fast.
Why?
Why?
I don't give a shit! Okay? Just take all the closets! I am on phase 7, okay? This is crucial! Just leave me the fuck alone!
At the heart of Wrong is Jack Plotnick, and it's Jack's performance that holds this film together. Plotnick is a seasoned character actor that you've been watching for years without even realizing it, and as I was researching Plotnick for this video, I may have become a bit of a fan. So without going into too much detail, Plotnick is a writer, director, actor, and acting instructor that has had a diverse career. I would encourage anyone to seek out his website and YouTube channel, especially if you're an actor. His insights on the profession are heartfelt. Links in the description for where to find more on Plotnick. Plotnick plays Dolph. the owner of Paul the missing dog. Dolph is unemployed, a fact that he is well aware of, yet still chooses to report into work each day, much to the chagrin of his co-workers.
Richard, want to have lunch? Buy you a burger for old time's sake?
No. I mean, break's over in 3 minutes, and the others will just reject me if I keep being your friend.
While we really can't fully understand Dolph's behavior, we do have empathy for him. He is the only character in the film that ever seems remotely concerned when completely unexplainable things happen to him or around him. Maybe concerned isn't the correct word. Frustrated or annoyed might be more appropriate.
You were ambling along, and all of a sudden, your dog Paul passed you by in a bus.
In a bus?
Yes, he was seated in a bus, like a regular commuter.
Plotnik is perfect for this part, if it's possible to be perfect for a part like this. Dolph, while our empathy for him is genuine, is really a character that's hard to like. He's kind of a neurotic dickhead, and I felt his pain over the loss of his dog. For a film whose plot is almost throwaway, Dupieux could have gone the lazy way with an "oh my god, my dog is gone" moment early in Act 1, but instead he gives us this slow burn of Dolph going from just wondering where Paul is to finding out that Paul has been lost/kidnapped.
He never takes off on his own like this. It's weird. I'm afraid something's happened.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he got hungry. Went off looking for food somewhere.
That plays out across Act 1, and Plotnik builds into it very, very believably. It's not hard to understand how far one man would go for the love of his pet. That's not only part of the brilliance of Plotnik for selling it, it's Dupieux's ingenious way of giving the audience a basic emotional situation that virtually anyone can relate to give them a window into this bizarre world, but stay just grounded enough.
Who are you?
I'm a man just like you, but I want to tell you a bit about what I do for a living. It might be of interest to you.
Playing opposite Jack Plotnik is William Fichtner, who plays Master Chang. Fichtner is an American actor that started his career on television soap operas and is one of the most instantly recognizable character actors working in film in the last 20 years, with roles in Armageddon, Crash, The Dark Knight, Black Hawk Down, as well as copious television roles and video game voice work, including Grand Theft Auto games and Call of Duty games. Now, throughout the film Wrong, it's never quite made clear whether Fichtner's Master Chang is supposed to be perceived as the bad guy or not. As we find out shortly after his introduction, he is somewhat responsible for the kidnapping of Dolph's dog. I know that sounds like a major spoiler, but it's actually quite a minor spoiler. But he claims the kidnapping was not for nefarious reasons, and due to complications with that kidnapping, the events of the film are set in motion.
Listen, I am busy right now, so if you can leave.
But, honey, this is like super important. I mean, it says in this book that a first name predetermines a human being's personality. For instance, Bruno is a bad choice, okay? Apparently, it's been proven that all Brunos eventually hang themselves.
Rounding out the rest of the key supporting cast are Eric Judor as Victor and Alexis Ziena as Emma. Together, they carry the film's rather twisted B-plot. Victor is a somewhat timid man who has an affinity for sketching objects in a spiral-bound notebook with a black Sharpie. He is not good at sketching. Emma is an employee at a local pizza restaurant that leaves a flyer in Dolph's mailbox, which prompts him to call to discuss the meaning of the restaurant's logo, and inadvertently pulling her into the events of Wrong in surprisingly intimate ways. The film's B-plot is driven by these two characters and ends in such a shocking and unexpected way that it is sure to either make you laugh hysterically, scratch your head, get really, really irritated, or all of the above. I've seen the film several times over the last few years, and I still don't fully understand it, nor do I think Dupieux meant me to.
Yeah, well, it doesn't suit you, and it's pervy, and it's disgusting and disturbing me.
One of the reasons that this bizarre film works, for me at least, is the full-on acceptance of the world of wrong as completely normal. The cast sells it, and they are completely committed. In a surreal comedy drama like this, it would be incredibly easy to let the characters become simple window dressing around what the film is trying to do, but it's clear that Dupieux worked with these actors to get what he wanted. Attached to every instance of a character doing or saying something that seems completely alien, there is some driving, relatable motivation behind everything everyone does. Lust, love, greed, longing, loss, we can relate to all those things, and they are the driving forces of the characters in this film's behavior. Now, how those characters respond to those motivations and what actions they take to satisfy those motivations are what make wrong feel, well, wrong. One of the many fascinating things Quentin Dupieux does in Wrong is the handling of dialogue. Often, discussions between characters cease to become normal discussions and end up living in this world between a normal discussion and characters speaking aloud their inner monologues. There's nothing overtly crazy about anything they're saying, but we know as viewers that we would never talk to someone like that.
Okay. I gotta be honest with you. I just pretended to get information from that guy over there to make you believe I was getting the answers. But the reality is, I had no need to inquire, because I know exactly what happened. And I could have told you from the beginning.
Okay.
Now, human behavior isn't the only thing wrong with wrong. There are also many events that are just simply inexplicable. A palm tree planted by Victor demonstrates impossible behavior. A piece of absolutely insane technology used by Detective Ronnie to assist in tracking Paul will have you scratching your head and washing your hands. The office where Dolph works, or pretends to, experiences constant rainstorms, indoors, nonstop, and the characters accept this as completely normal. And it's never mentioned as anything out of the ordinary. In an art film, this may be simply overt symbolism, but here it's absolutely a physical condition of the universe of the film.
Grab a towel. Putting water everywhere.
Sorry.
Perhaps why Wrong is a good introduction into absurdist filmmaking is that it's quite low-key. It's wrong, but it's not insane. Unlike Rubber, where the premise is so bizarre in itself that it slaps you across the side of your head with a crowbar, Wrong has an innocent charm that we can relate to. Nobody wants to lose their pet. And even if you've never had pets, you are most likely fully aware that people develop strong emotional attachments to them. And even though Dolph's initial reaction to the loss is a bit hard to read, it becomes obvious that he loves that dog as he goes to ever-increasing lengths to find him. And we can all relate to that on some level. It's very easy for a film like this to devolve into just an excuse to be absurd, but this film isn't one of them. It's well-crafted, with a visually sterile but pleasant style. And if you've never taken a dive into absurdist films, I would consider this a great place to ease into it with an open mind. Wrong is available on YouTube and as of 2023 on a few streaming services. If you do seek it out and enjoy it, it's also available on Blu-ray, but due to the obscurity of the title, it is a bit harder to find and might be a couple dollars more. Thanks for watching. This is Scuzz reminding you to put down your phones and watch more movies. And leave your phones down while watching them.